Why does Barton Street have such a bad reputation? What is the history of Barton Street that will lead you to a better understanding of this area and a better understanding of the people that live there and where it's come from? My name is Ahmad.kaoud. I'm a local realtor. I service the Hamilton-Burlington area. I've helped many families, many landlords, many investors find the perfect place in Hamilton, Burlington, and Mississauga. And I want to share with you today some of the insights, both from talking to locals, having been there for such a long time, to really share with you and give you a sense of what's going on. So Barton Street historically has been an important part of Hamilton's history. It divides sort of the industrial, factory, commercial area from the residential area. So the majority of the north side of Barton Street is that, and the south side facing Barton has all of your houses, your residences, and small businesses, restaurants, things like that. Things start to get interesting when you cross over the Red Hill. Now, there are a few areas that, yes, Barton Street itself has some troubled areas, and there are also some great pockets. And it's more about the neighborhoods that are offshoot from Barton Street. As you cross over the Red Hill Parkway, you'll notice that Barton Street starts to change. So it increases in terms of density. You still have the factory and the steel factories to the north, and you have residential on the south. You also have some neighborhoods that, especially closer to Barton because it's so close to the factories, and for some it's a less desirable area, having to see, you know, the smokestacks and commercial and industrial buildings that are always there all the time. Even in certain parts of the north end, if you go closer to the bay, you'll find that those houses are a lot more expensive as opposed to those that are right up by the Pier 8 tend to decrease in value and have a lot less frequency in terms of sales. As you start to proceed from where we're going to talk about in this video today, from Stony Creek all the way up to Lock Street, you are going to find that there are pockets that are good and pockets that need a little bit more, that are challenged and that need a little bit more attention. When you do cross over the Red Hill Valley Parkway, you will notice that there are, again, on the south side, a lot of individual wartime single family homes lining up on the south side. And of course, as you look over on the north side, you will find a lot more commercial properties. It is as you start to pass through Kenilworth and Ottawa Street, you're going to find that you move into East Hamilton proper, and this traditionally has been a rougher neighborhood in terms of a greater frequency of people that are homeless. There tends to be a little bit more substance abuse. You're going to find that there are people that are struggling to make ends meet, and you know, if you go out there at night, late at night, yeah, some people may feel uncomfortable living in that area. There are pockets where they are redeveloping, like on Rennie and Dunsmore, where they've put up a lot of new properties, and even those neighborhoods themselves, that pocket that's sort of in between the factories and the Red Hill, they're experiencing a lot of growth and a lot of money coming back into it. More so though, when you move to the south, you're going to find a lot of properties are starting to be updated and renovated, and more people are considering it. And so as you continue to move further west, this is where the area starts to get a little bit more tricky. So when you're directly south of the commercial, the industrial area, the steel plants, and so on and so forth, there is less desire for people to be in that area. And as such, you're going to find a lot of houses that tend to be a little bit more run down, houses that have been within the same family. They could be rented or owned over a number, like 2 or 3 generations. And so these houses perhaps haven't seen a lot of the attention that some other neighborhoods south of Barton, even south of Cannon, south of Maine, that really have gotten a lot more attention and traditionally have been stronger neighborhoods. The neighborhoods historically along Barton Street have been lower income in terms of providing. Mind you, 100 years ago, it was a much more affluent area, much more bustling. With the advent of the large malls and larger superstores like Costco and you know, Loblaws, Walmart, things like that, a lot of these mom and pop shops disappeared off of Barton, and so did the livelihoods, and so did a lot of the prosperity that was experienced on Barton Street tended to go away with it. And so as you are driving along Barton, you are going to see boarded up houses. You are going to see boarded up storefronts. You're going to see a number of churches, which is absolutely fantastic. But you're also going to see a lot of places that require attention, that need a little bit more time and money in terms of renovation to bring it up to snuff. Now, once we're closer to the Bayfront area, you'll notice that the buildings significantly change. There's a lot more near James Street. It starts to pick up, and you're going to find that the buildings are a lot more renovated. They've been kept longer, partially because, again, those areas historically have been more affluent. There's been less commercial areas, and they were designated residential, and so people have lived there. And yes, those houses have been passed on by generations, but those are people that have been able to pivot, have been able to transition during some of the more challenging times, especially in the 80s and 90s, when a lot of other factories and a lot of industrial processes left Hamilton, when steel production in other countries was a lot more competitive. And so a lot of these people were able to transition, and they were able to find work elsewhere. They were able to move, whereas people that were dependent, sort of, if you will, in central Barton area, they struggled and they were unable to make that change. And then, of course, as you start to approach Locke Street towards the end of Barton Street, you're going to find that the houses are a lot more decorative. They're a lot more ornate. They've been renovated through and through. I do appreciate you watching this video. Please like, subscribe, share. It means a lot to me. I'm very passionate about real estate. I'm very passionate about the city of Hamilton. I'm always open to learning. I'm always open to hearing your comments, your feedback. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.